This is Long Beach Radio. Good morning, West Coast. As promised a little earlier in the show, a couple times, and on our social media, I have on the phone Bill Irving, who's running for mayor in Ucluelet. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yeah.
Sweet, and I can hear you. That's good. These things don't always work out as I plan them. But what we've been doing is interviewing candidates. So far, it's been Tofino candidates. Bill's the first Ucluelet candidate to get on board and call us up to do this sort of thing, asking a few simple questions about their platforms running in the municipal election, which comes up on the 19th. And if you're a candidate in Ucluelet or Tofino and you would like a little chat here on the radio, please do give me a call here at the studio or my email address. All the contact information is on longbeachradio.ca. So, Bill, why don't you just introduce yourself? We've been getting people to start with a little background on their roles in the community, maybe how they came to be here, and how someone else living in the community might recognize you and some of the causes or organizations you might be affiliated with.
Yeah, right. I appreciate that. Actually, originally, I lived in Port Hardy and was doing my apprenticeship, and we used to drive down almost every weekend to surf and visit with folks in Tofino. That was in the days when the road was just paved. And I thought after a while, that's pretty goofy. I might as well live in Tofino and enjoy everything. Mm-hmm. So the drive. So we moved down there 35 or 40 years ago and bought some property there. I think it's a chocolate store and everything are in there now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it was a great place. But then the economy sort of went sideways in Tofino, and it was an opportunity to move down to Ucluelet for some full-time work. So I lived in Ucluelet about 30 years, so about 20 of those been on council, different periods of time, and 9 of those as a former mayor. So been very interested in community involvement and activities in the community, particularly with the young people and that kind of opportunity. So that's a bit of the history of why I came here and the interests I have in the communities.
So, obviously, with a history on council and a history as mayor, it's probably kind of a simple, or maybe it even actually makes it a more complicated decision. But why did you decide to run for council in Ucluelet this time around?
I'll ramble a little bit.
Sure.
The statement doesn't start that. My wife works as a travel nurse all through the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and northern BC. And as I get a chance to go and visit her and visit these communities, and they're all rural coastal communities mostly, I'm always amazed at how phenomenal this place is. The resources that we have and the opportunities here are just tremendous. Other communities would die for even a couple of the resources that we have, both in the environment and the employment opportunity, and so that community feel, but close to big urban centers. Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, I guess I see tremendous opportunities for Ucluelet and for this region to be very progressive and move ahead on a number of fronts. And so that's what I'm interested in is getting our community organized, plans developed, implementation focused, and just getting some of these projects done and showing that kind of leadership.
So you want to make sure that Ucluelet takes advantage of those advantages, I guess, that it has over other similar communities.
Really, and I think we've been fairly effective in trying to communicate through our community plans what the people of Ucluelet think our municipality should look like, and they very much want it to retain its sort of rural community feel, but appreciating that we need an economy, and mm-hmm. And there's opportunities to do that. We can sort of walk and chew gum at the same time, in the sense of accommodating a huge number of visitors, but retaining that sort of community sense.
Mm-hmm. Are there individual maybe initiatives or projects that would be a priority for you should you be elected this time around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are quite a few that I'll be specific in a second here, but I'd just like to add a bit of a caveat in the sense that I feel my number one priority is communication. The strength, I think, of a council is when it knows what the community's objectives are, it builds partnerships in the region and in the community, and then pushes forward. So I feel it's extremely important that we sit down with the players mm-hmm. and discuss the issue, come to terms with a strategy, and move forward. And that locally would mean our school. I think it's very important to everybody on the coast, mm-hmm. First Nations and our other communities. the high schools. In Ucluelet specifically, we have the seaplane base area. We have a tremendous opportunity there with the development of that area, sort of a marine focus, but a resolution before council now for over a year is to sit down with all the landowners and the stakeholders in the area and develop a plan that we all complement each other and know where each other's going. That kind of communication, I think, is vital. Mm-hmm. We have very interesting opportunities in recreation. We have the aquarium going in, the whiskey dock, the fish market going in downtown. We really need to bring the businesses together in the downtown area and explain the opportunity and get their understanding and buy-in on how we move forward. And there's a couple things that really I'm very interested in is it's expensive to live here, and I think there's lots of people who struggle with the cost of living here, and I think we really have to address their need, and it's a community need as well, because we need people who are able to commit to the community and work here and enjoy volunteering and et cetera, and that really the foundation of that is a livable employment. And then for the seniors, I'm sort of getting close to that, if not over the barrier there, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity. They are very involved in giving back to the community. I think we could really have to sit down with them and get a good sense of how they feel about our community and what kind of things we can do to help. And lastly, very quickly, would in communication would be locally. I think we need to sort of have a double-barreled approach to economic development. And one is certainly be very aggressive in looking for new opportunities that fit the model that we want for our community. But the other side of it is we have to sit down with the businesses here who've spent a lifetime of hard work and investment and say, what do we need to do to assist you to be stable or to employ more people? Mm-hmm. I think it's just as powerful as going and finding new investors. And then just branching out from local to regional. It's a long time since Tofino and Ucluelet have sat down as two communities and discussed their issues. I hope we can reinstitute that. We have, I can't recall, other than the Ucluelet First Nations, sitting down with the Long Beach community and the Tocourt First Nations and talking with them. And we are partners with the Tocourt First Nations in a community forest, and I don't recall us as a council ever sitting down with our partners. So locally and regionally, I think we really have to push those buttons, and we have to step out of our building and go to theirs if that's the role we have to take, and I'm quite happy with that. On the broader level, I'm not sure what our relationship with the senior governments is. We take every opportunity to lobby them, but we have no ongoing
dialogue.
Exactly, with our MLA or our MP. We've got our MP here a couple of times by twisting his arm, but I think that's vital to have good communication with the people who were elected to represent us on the broader political forum. So those are that is my real priority, is to build those partnerships through good communication and get on with some of the tremendous projects we got in front of us.
All right. Is that kind of your summary, your basic thing, or is there something else you wanted to add before we kind of go on to how people contact you or get more information?
The only I guess thing I'd like to add is I really appreciate councils in the past and the present council. I mean, we have our disagreements, and I am a different kind of a leader than our present mayor, and he's quite committed to the community, but I am a different kind of a leader. I believe we have to get our message out into every hall and corridor of funding opportunity, and appreciate that every tax dollar that people put in my hands, I take personal responsibility for that to be spent wisely. And so I guess that's my commitment. I feel very strongly about the dollars that people give to their community for services and investment. That we got to do that right and careful. Be very careful with it.
All right. I don't think there's a lot of taxpayers out there that would disagree with that.
No, I'm one of them, and I don't. I
sure.
don't disagree with myself either.
All right, if people are looking to get more information, I know the mayoral race down there is effectively down to 2, so it's going to be pretty tight, and I know you're both familiar faces to the community, so probably easy to find and chat with you, but is there websites, email addresses, phone numbers, or something you'd like to share with people who might want to get a little more of what you have in mind for the community?
Yeah, I've got a little ad running on the cable, and it's got an email address there, Forest, Forest 55 at telus.net, and quite a few people have sent me little notes, and it's a good way to communicate. Certainly available on the phone.
Yep. You're in the book.
Yeah, and my cell, if people want 266-4463. Glad to respond to that.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time this morning, Bill.
You bet.
And thanks to all the other candidates, of course, that have gotten involved. Bill Irving is running for mayor in Ucluelet, and we've been chatting with a number of candidates, and we're going to wrap things up with a song, just some Coldplay. You just want to rock this morning? Any particular reason you selected it?
No, I just like the combination of energy there and message.
All right. Well, this is Viva La Vida. We've been talking to Bill Irving, and you'll be able to catch this email or this interview rather a little later on our website at longbeachradio.ca. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Bye-bye.